Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene Vids. And tonight with me, as always, are my companions in crime, Tom and Runner. How are you guys doing this evening?
Super.
Not
Super
too bad.
diddly duper. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, Runner. Let's say hell to everybody. How are you doing this evening? Well, jumped on me already. How are you doing this evening, Brian Barth? Am I not? It's all messing up on me. Crazy. So, how are you doing this evening, Brian Barth? Glad to see you in the chat as always. What is up, Steven? Deleted Scenes. Congratulations on your 8K views you just hit on your video. That is awesome, my friend.
Congrats.
Yes,
great.
congrats, big time. Hello, Rusty Shackelford. Glad to have you in the chat as well. And let's see, we have Tim Hayes. Welcome, Tim Hayes. Glad to see you here, as hanging with us as always. And Tyrell72. Hello, my friend. Random Brad Creator, sending good vibes as always. Always glad to have you here, Random Brad. You're constant in the chat, and I love that. Well, pretty much all you guys are. So I love you guys being here. Appreciate that. Stephen Luther, how are you doing? What's up? Style section. The chat keeps messing up on me. Like, it's weird tonight. Hell's style section, and Ace Hanlon. Nice to see you in the chat as always. And also Cryum. I hope I'm saying it right. Cool Gamer. Good to see you here. And Morgan King, hello to you. So, we don't have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight as far as new releases, other than the video I did. Rumors of, I already forgot the name. The Last Dragon is coming to 4K Steelbook. The Lighthouse may be getting a 4K, but as we talked earlier, it looks like that might be just an A24 exclusive to their website, and they'll rack up the price real high. So if you want the Lighthouse on 4K, personally, I mean, it'd be cool to get that on 4K, but that movie doesn't really need a 4K. It's already black and white as is. It's 4:3, aspect ratio. It's kind of a movie that you don't really need a 4K for. So there's that. There's all the Scream Factory ones: Highwaymen, Skyline, The Haunting. I'm trying to remember everything here. Conquest of Space. It came from outer space or something like that. I can't remember the name at the moment. There's The Arrow, Black Hat, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, The Last Starfighter. That's pretty much it for new releases. But also, it looks like we have a Friday the 13th 4K Steelbook. What is this, Tom?
Oh, that was just for you guys in case you wanted. It's just on sale.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hell of a deal.
I was wondering, it's like, what? I didn't click it before. I should have clicked it before we started the show. But okay, yes, that's pretty cool. Actually, that's a good deal. I may. I've been thinking about it because I got my box set, and I'm pretty happy with my box set. But I'm kind of interested to see that 4K.
It's basically reached that price range where it's like almost worth it despite the problems. But yeah.
Exactly. That happens.
Yeah.
Yes, Dead Silence is coming out on Shout Factory. It should be coming out very soon. Rick and Morty season 6 at the end of the month. I've never really got into Rick and Morty, so
Same.
I don't know much about it.
I need to give it another chance, to be honest with you, because a lot of people like it.
I know a lot of people do. I saw Hook 1991. Apparently Spielberg hated the way. Yeah, he did not like it. It wasn't well received, and I know he had some problems with it himself. So yeah, it's a good movie though.
I haven't seen Hook though. I've heard people say that they like it.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh yes, Tim
maybe,
Hayes.
Maybe a lot of people just don't talk about it, and it's probably why I haven't seen it yet.
I think it was one of the movies that it was way over budgeted. Steven Spielberg. I just think he was just going for something and he didn't achieve it. But a lot of people remember it and like it because they saw it when it came to home video. It's one of those that grew on home video and is like every kid's house in the 90s. So they kind of really latched onto it. I think that's what This is my opinion. But yes, Tim Hayes, the Caligula, the 3-hour cut is coming to 4K sometime in 2023. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Caligula
with Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, dude from A Clockwork Orange.
Yes. Well, that's pretty cool. First movie I ever saw in cinema. That's nice.
That's
mean,
cool.
actually, it did pretty well in the box office.
It
But
did.
I mean, it
I
was
heard
kind
it.
of the only real competition it had was Beauty and the Beast and the Addams Family, really, and those were still hanging around, and those were from Thanksgiving because it opened up the weekend after Star Trek Undiscovered Country. So,
Wow.
yeah,
I forgot about that.
it opened up at #1 and it did 75 million in the U.S. and like 120 some million overall. It looks like so.
Wasn't the budget like really high though?
It might have been, but I'm sure it was somewhat of a disappointment for the for Sony at the time if the budget was a bit high. So
Get it. All right. But
Yeah,
yes, that's about it for all the like what's coming out. I mean, there was a lot of like little releases here and there, but nothing major to grab your attention that we haven't already talked about.
right.
Yeah. So, if there's anything there that interests you, there you have it. You
Highway
guys
to
want to say
Heaven.
anything
You
before we
forgot
get into
about
the
Highway
picks?
to
Honestly,
Heaven.
I wouldn't mind getting the Lighthouse on 4K. Honestly, it could look pretty good.
And don't forget Highway to Heaven.
Oh yeah, Highway to Heaven, the complete series, is being remastered for Blu-ray. It's being done by the same people that did 21 Jump Street, the show that Robert.
So it's just gonna be an up convert of a fucking standard death then and cropped
V-
off.
Yeah, I believe it's VEI is the company. They did 21 Jump Street. That show Robert Meyer Burnett was talking about. I've seen it, but I can't remember the show. Wise Guy, and they did one other show too. Another like a lot of the what is that guy's name? Stephen Bochco? Was it Steve Bochco? No, and him. Or whatever. There's a lot of his type of shows that they did. But yeah, it's the same company. So that's probably just going to be an up convert, even though it says remastered on the box. So we'll shall see.
I
So
like to
wait,
give him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I'll wait till I see some reviews.
yeah,
where I
wait
buy
till see
that
some
shit.
reviews on that. Yeah. I'm still waiting on the Highlander series that they've been working on.
Yeah,
for
no
so
shit.
long.
I'm waiting.
It's like
Yeah,
they release the trailer, they show you what they're doing with it, and it's been like
Yeah.
2-3 years already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd buy the Highlander series whenever that.
Unless
comes
they're
out.
waiting for maybe that company has like exclusive rights to the distribution and they have to wait them out. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, Stephen J. Canal was the name. Yes.
Yes.
But is there
No
anything else you guys
problem.
want to talk about before we head into the picks? Anything
No,
on your
I
mind?
think we covered everything.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting to the picks early tonight. All right. Who wants to go first, Tom or Runner?
I don't know.
We'll go with you, Runner. Why not?
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So I got a package from the Disney Movie Club thing because I did that 5 for $1 type thing, and I got some good movies. And I know Greg likes these movies. I know he at least likes the first one. And I know I'm pretty much showing my age here, but I kind of like the second movie a little bit more. And that's Tron and Tron Legacy.
Yeah, I have those. I have the slipcovers.
Kick him.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I'd kick you. Hey, Tron Legacy is a good movie, but the first movie is better.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta kick you. For
I like Tron
Yeah.
Legacy more. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We got Runner. I'm sorry.
What a dick.
It was nice knowing him.
It was nice knowing.
I mean, listen,
they're
the
fun.
first
they're
one's
good.
the first one's good. It's enjoyable. I can watch it, but if I were to rewatch one over the other, it would probably be Tron Legacy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
If I'm going to rewatch one, it's going to be the original Tron. Plus, it's got that documentary on there that Robert Meyer Burnett did. That's awesome. So
This is that's on the Blu-ray?
yeah, it's on the Tron Blu-ray.
Oh no shit. I know he did a documentary on it, but I didn't know it was on the Blu-ray.
Read the special features on the back there, Runner.
Oh my god, like I give a fuck.
Apparently you do, because you didn't know there's a documentary on there done by Robert Meyer Burnett, but you didn't read the back because you don't care. Oh.
Well, no, Listen, man. Whenever I get a movie, I grab the damn thing, and I just take the disc out and I pop it in just to watch the movie. I worry about the special features later.
Craziness. But yeah, I prefer the first one. Don't get me wrong, I do like Tron Legacy. I do, and I
Yeah,
agree with you, Tiki
the
Dune. The
Tron,
score
well, the
is
Tron,
amazing by
yeah,
Daft
it's
Punk,
by
but
Daft Punk. Yeah,
if I'm pressed, I'm gonna
fucking
Tron.
great.
The original Tron is the best. You can't beat that.
Um, I mean, I could see where you're coming from. I don't know. I thought Tron Legacy was like, I honestly, it to me, it's the Top Gun Maverick of.
No.
Well, speaking of Top Gun Maverick, it was actually directed by the same director of Top
Yes,
Gun
it was. It
Maverick,
was. It was.
Joseph Kosinski.
I will say at least he does respect the source material where it's coming from, the first one and stuff. I don't know if I would call it I think it was maybe on his pathway to the Top Gun Maverick, but
Well,
I wouldn't call it quite that.
okay, that's a better way of saying it. Maybe I'm going a little bit too far. Maybe I'm pissing you off a little too much, but no, but here's the thing. Here's what's great about this Blu-ray right here. It looks so good for a Blu-ray, and the IMAX shots are fucking amazing.
That movie
Like,
probably could use a 4K, but it's Disney and it will never get one.
I don't think it is in 4K. I think it's only 2K.
Is it only was it
I
2K
think so.
digital cameras they shot
Yeah,
with or whatever?
I think
yeah,
so.
they have shot it with
I have
digital
the
camera.
3D version.
I couldn't get the 3D version because
Yeah, you couldn't watch it if you didn't have a 3D TV anyway.
I know.
He doesn't read the back of the box, so.
No, but
fuck
that was
you,
actually
Greg.
my first real 3D movie in theater.
Oh, cool.
Technically, yeah, it's cool because the scenes, not the whole movie isn't in 3D. The only time it's in 3D is when they're inside the computer.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I do enjoy the second one. Are they? I've seen it all. I didn't ever watch anything, but are they doing the Tron 3 with Jared Leto?
Yes, it's still moving forward from what we've heard. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Huh. I saw all you guys covering that, but I never watched it because I was like, I heard,
I've heard some things about it. I've heard some things about it. It doesn't excite me too much, kind of because of where Disney's at right now.
Plus
So
Jared Leto.
Yeah,
but
Jared
apparently,
Leto too.
I still need to see the glorious that is Morbius. So
I do too. But
speaking of which, there was still like a stack this wide of Morbius movies at the Best Buy I go to. They're still there. They've have never moved. What is it?
What's that?
Morbius. It's Morbin
My
time.
Morbius pin
Where'd you get that from?
from Morbius.
That's cool.
Because it's glorious.
Glorious Morbius.
Gloriously bad.
Yeah. But yeah, Runner, I get it. You're a modern kid, so you think the new modern fancy stuff looks better.
I just like the story in the first one better.
So do I.
See, I like the story in the second.
You got a movie called Tron, where Tron's hardly in the fucking movie.
Well, he's there.
Jeff
He's
Bridges
in
is
the
in it.
skies. He's somebody else.
Jeff Bridges ain't Tron.
No, he's not.
I know that, but he's still great.
And I know a lot of people thought it was, but it's like, no. Tron is a computer program. It was actually made in the image of this other guy.
Yeah.
No, actually, the first film helped me understand computers. Because I was working for an ISP, and they're like, can you put together computers? I'm like, I don't know shit about computers. I was just working in phones and advertising and bill collecting. Like, oh, you could part-time put together some computers. Here, watch this movie. And we sat down and watched Tron. And he's explaining to me throughout the movie how basically computers work by using Tron. It was kind of simplified, but it did the trick.
Great movie, and helped me learn the computers. So
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
It don't help me much now, but this was like almost 20 goddamn
yes,
years
Bruce
ago.
Boxleitner is Tron. Yeah.
And if Disney were smart, which they aren't, they would have gotten Joseph Kosinski back for the third movie, I'd think, after the success of Maverick.
Well, he was supposed to come back for a third movie, and then all
I
the
know.
regime changes and all that stuff happened, or whatever. So they canceled it.
I don't think we would have liked the third movie anyway.
Yeah, I think they should
Well,
kind of leave it at 2.
Script
personally.
doctor read the script and he said it was basically written in a way that it was so much cheaper
Oh
than the
boy.
second film, and it all mostly took place on Earth.
Oh, I heard you guys talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's mostly about what's her face and all that kind of stuff, and like somebody
Olivia
in the government
Wilde?
is coming after her or whatever, and
I can't lie, she was fucking hot and.
No, but I mean, it's basically so it'd be like the Matrix outside of the Matrix most of the time.
Yeah, I understand.
They kind of could have just should have left it at 2. Honestly, it's a good two-parter. You don't need a third one.
I agree. You could just leave it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like those picks, Runner. So congratulations.
Yeah. And dude, oh my god, dude, I want one of those Tron bikes, man.
Duh.
Everybody wanted a Tron bike. Doesn't matter what the first or the second one. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, listen, I enjoy the first one for what it is, and I respect it and all of that. But the watching the second movie, watching those Tron bikes and shit, I was just like, oh my god, like that's fucking awesome.
You're crazy.
Like I want one of those so bad.
You haven't lived till you're outside with your brothers and you grab a stick and you bend over like you're riding a motorcycle, just start running and chasing each other, going boom, boom. Oh, that's fun. You got to have seen Tron. So.
Well, I've seen Tron.
Anyways.
Yeah, you're just being a dick like you normally are.
But that's good picks. Tom, what do you got for us? What's your first pick of the night?
Well, my first pick of the night is a pair of films, actually. And the weird thing is, it does share a similarity between what Runner shared, but not what you would think. The difference is that, or the similarity is basically that that's two films that were many years apart. In this case, even more, I believe. Because that was only, 20 years between those two, roughly?
Yeah, pretty
This
good.
is 30 years between these two. And as far as I'm concerned, one of them is one of the greatest comedies of all time.
I know which one you're going for.
And the second film is good, just not nearly as good as the first film, but we'll get into all that. And that is The Odd Couple. And I have this very nice imprint box set because at the time I bought this, I didn't even know the U.S. had released a Blu-ray edition of The Odd Couple, and they did, I guess. But it kind of came under the radar, and it's expensive anyway. So I'm like, really? I didn't pay all that much more for this box set. They also released Odd Couple 2, but both of them are like really expensive still for some reason, and I don't know why. They're like $17-$20 or whatever. So yeah, it's a nice box set from Imprint. Got nice art all over it. And it comes with 3 discs. You get, and I used to have the DVD. I was looking for it. I couldn't find my DVD of it. I had the original release. And this is just the back that was on the thing. But of course, it has the first film with some special features, which appear to be from that. They must have done an anniversary DVD after the one I got, and it was probably the same thing that was on the Blu-ray. But it all seems to be the same features carried over from there. And then you have The Odd Couple 2, which also does not have as many special features, but what it does have is 2 documentaries that I happened to actually found on YouTube years ago, but are on here now too. One about Walter Matthau, one about Jack Lemmon. And they're like a biography kind of thing, older ones. Then you get select episodes of the TV series, which would have been nice if they'd release the entire series in HD, because even Paramount Plus only has select episodes for some reason.
It's just episodes they put out for other sets.
I don't know. It's like they skip over so many. You can't get the pilot. I think it starts with like the 2nd or 5th episode on Paramount Plus. Yeah. And then they jump episodes in between. It's really weird because all this box sets have all been released with all the episodes. It's not like they've never been released before, and you can get them all on DVD. But I don't want them on DVD. I want them on Blu-ray, especially after seeing how good they look on this Blu-ray and on Paramount Plus now remastered. Which, of course, there's more of a selection on Paramount Plus, obviously. But yeah, but no, the films, of course, the original film can never be beat. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if Runner's ever seen them, but I'm assuming you've at least seen them.
I've seen them,
Greg.
I remember I've seen them, and I remember the second one. I was like, "What did I just watch?" After I watched it, especially considering they were sort of on a roll with like Grumpy Old Men, Out to Sea, stuff like that. And then when you watch,
so you didn't care for the second one?
It had its moments, but I prefer the first movie.
Well, it stood up. I didn't like it as much back then, but it must have aged better.
See, I haven't seen it.
When I watched it this last week, I liked it a lot more than I did before. I was laughing my ass off.
Okay,
maybe it's just because we've had shit movies lately. And not only that, I'm like, oh crap, they got away with not one, but like 2 F words in a PG-13 movie that late in the game. I'm like, holy shit. And because Jack Lemmon said it twice in the movie.
That's true. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe I'll give it a second chance. And maybe you're right. It's just we've been bombarded with so much crap. Some of the movies that we thought were bad back in the day are actually looking pretty good now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, it's not nearly on the same level as that or the Grumpy Old Men for that matter, and they may come up later. But it does have the same director as the second Grumpy Old Men movie, and the only reason it happened was because Grumpiest Old Men fell apart, I guess, at Warner Brothers. And so Walter really needed it to happen because I guess he needed to pay for his house payment or back taxes or something or other, which is strange. You would think he wouldn't have to after just doing 2 Grumpy Old Men movies in a row, but evidently he did. So Jack didn't really want to do it, but he did it for him, and it ended up being their last movie together, sadly. But yeah, I feel like it's underrated. I posted that on Twitter last week. I found some people who agree with me. It's definitely better, the best of all the other non-Grumpy movies that came out in that era, compared to the sailing one, whatever one it was, and the other ones they did together. Out to Sea, that's what it was. Yeah. Compared to some of that shit that they did at that period, this is so much better in my opinion. So
I'll have to give it a rewatch because I do remember not liking it. It's not that I hated it. I just don't think I found it as funny as I thought I would. Because I do like the first movie, but now I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch. I'll have to find it and give it a rewatch now.
Yeah, I mean, and they even had Neil Simon come back and write the sequel.
Yeah, I remember it was Neil Simon's Odd Couple too. Yeah. Felix and Oscar.
I mean, and it's kind of weird how they do kind of fall back into the roles for the most part. I mean, Jack Lemmon's just the one who does more of the change, really. Walter Matthau's always pretty much the same character.
Yeah, he's like everyone. He's the same guy in every movie.
Well, not in every movie, but in these kind of movies anyway.
Well, yeah, those type.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon, on the other hand, he has to shift back into a little bit more of the Felix mode compared to what he was on Grumpy Old Men. But no, I enjoyed it this time probably more than I ever had before. I remember laughing a lot more this time around. I actually had a couple belly laughs in it. So
I'll have to give it a shot because. It's like I said, it's not that I hated it, I just didn't think it was funny as I thought it was going to be, I think is my problem. So I have to go back and rewatch it. And Brian Barth, I think Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau are one of the greatest comedy duos. I mean, their movies are great. They're hilarious.
I mean, pound for pound, probably. And I think they've made, God, I can't remember exactly how many altogether, but it was quite a few. Because, I mean, it's somewhere in the teens. I know that. Because one of Walter's first movies was with Jack. It was The Fortune Cookie. Mm-hmm. And then they made a couple other movies together, I think before maybe The Odd Couple was their second movie. I can't remember. They did a couple more after that. And then, of course, they did a patch of them with the Grumpy Old Men and this one and the others.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
well, the funny thing is even in like this movie and the Grumpy Old Men movies, they're playing much younger men than they really were at the time.
I know.
That's what's funny.
They were like
they're in their 90s playing in their 70s, which is hilarious.
It's funny that they could get away with it too. That tells you how good a shape they were actually in at that time. So,
and I even would have liked the My Fellow Americans I didn't like so much because it didn't have Walter
Oh, yeah,
Matthau
I
in it.
forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on. Half the joke was he always used to get after when Ronald Reagan got older, he used to get confused with Ronald Reagan all the time. There's even a Ronald Reagan joke in I think Grumpier Old Men or Grumpiest Old Men. I can't remember which, but yeah. James Garner was okay, but I just think it would have been funnier. Like the thing
Walter
is, you cannot.
Him, yeah.
Their chemistry, right? Like that's the thing. Their chemistry is so palpable that you could tell during that Odd Couple movie that these guys got something.
Yeah.
And especially when Grumpy Old Men came out, and that was a huge fucking hit. And like I said, we'll get to that more later. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna close it off here. I don't even think Runner's ever seen them.
Highly doubt it.
So.
I mean,
I already said I haven't.
I thought you did, yeah.
I mean, you can also attest to their duo in the first Odd Couple movies. Like so many TV shows and stuff copied that first movie.
We've gotten 3 TV shows.
Exactly, 3 Odd Couple TV shows, and not on top of that, like so many other TV shows just copied that formula. Laverne and Shirley,
and that's what I said. Is 2.5 Men was Odd Couple with a kid.
Yep, pretty much. All right. So I guess we'll move on to me for my first pick. And now I talked about this before on here, but I don't think I've ever actually brought this on TV. Now this isn't in the leagues. This movie is not in the leagues of Tron or the Odd Couple movies, but this is the very first DVD I ever bought, and the very first one. I still hold on to it. Ready to Rumble with David Arquette and Scott Conn here. I got it at time I was young. I was really, really into wrestling, and that's why I bought it. And it's actually not the first DVD I ever watched, because like I rented DVDs before I actually bought one. So, but this was just like super cheap. I found it one day. I was just like, I bought it, and I was huge into wrestling at the time. And what's funny about this is that actually this movie and what David Arquette did with wrestling afterwards really about destroyed his career. It's the movie that
this was his
career.
Passion project.
Yeah, it was because he was a huge wrestling fan. He did the movie, and then they actually brought him into the wrestling world storyline. They let him win the title in WCW, and he became one of the most hated people in the wrestling world. And it pretty much ruined his career, stalled him out. And he actually did a documentary not too long ago called You Cannot Kill David Arquette, where he actually got back into wrestling to try to win his fans back on that side. But yeah, this was something. This was one of the many nails in the coffin of the WCW wrestling era that destroyed that company.
Well, he did get killed in Scream 5.
Scream 5 can go fuck itself in the ass hard.
Oh, I know.
I hate Scream 5.
I was just trying to make a joke because you said that something.
This actually has a Scream connection. Tatum, Rose McGowan, who plays Dewey's sister in Scream, plays his love interest in this movie, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's very fucking weird.
It is very weird. It is very weird that they're kissing on each other and stuff in this movie after seeing Scream.
Imagine being a Scream fan and watching that.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I actually watched the movie, is because I was a huge Scream fan, and that's David Arquette. You watch the trailer and you say, oh, that's Dewey, David Arquette from Scream. Oh, and Tatum's in the movie too. Then you get into the movie. The movie's not particularly that great. It's not that funny. If you're a wrestling fan, it's got some cool, you get to see some of the wrestlers that you don't see anymore. But then when you get into it and you like see Dewey making out with Tatum, it's kind of weird and stuff. And
you didn't have to say Dewey and Tatum. You could
exactly
David Arquette and Rose McGowan. When you say it in that way, it's fucking weird.
I mean, they do more than that. They actually get to the business.
No.
They do. But at least she's got black hair in this movie, so. And then they cast Oliver Platt. If you know who Oliver Platt is, I doubt you do, Runner.
No, I'm pretty sure I do.
They cast Oliver Platt as like the big wrestling hero guy, like the Hulk Hogan of the movie. He's so miscast. I mean, he's a great actor and he's funny, but he's not a wrestler, and he's so miscast.
Yeah, I know who Oliver Platt is.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
in
what I've seen.
Flatliners. He's in so many other movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
He
thought
did-
about I saw the Flatliners 4K from Arrow at my Best Buy, and I thought about grabbing it, but I haven't.
I've been meaning
Yeah.
to get it myself. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I don't have much to add to this. I just haven't seen the movie since it first came out, so
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
know much about.
I
I didn't care for it then.
yeah,
I forgot even that what's her face was in the movie. That just
Rose
reminds me
McGowan.
of Godzilla, because you had what's his face who played Quicksilver and
Oh yeah, that was kind of
Olsen
weird
kid.
too. Yeah,
What
Elizabeth Olsen and
Aaron
Aaron
Taylor
Taylor
Johnson.
Aaron
Johnson.
Taylor Johnson. Yeah,
The other guy in Bullet Train.
I hadn't watched this in like probably 15 years, and I figured, I'll pop it in and see. Yeah, it doesn't hold up, especially considering wrestling is not what it once was. So. But I hold up to its sentimental value. To me, it was my first DVD I ever bought when I first got into movies, DVD collecting. So, but yeah, it's not a great movie. It has certain moments, bad casting, really weird if you're a Scream fan. That's one of the reasons why I saw it in the first place. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if I can watch these two make out. But yeah, there you go. That's my first pick.
That's weird shit.
Yeah. I knew that one wouldn't be. That's why I did it first. It was just something nostalgia taking me back. But I know, Runner, you have one and I have one that we're going to do together, and Tom doesn't have it. So
Yes,
you
sir.
ready to
Well,
do that
I think
one?
Well,
Does he-
I have it, but I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
you
Okay,
have it, but you
he
haven't
says
watched
he
it.
has it.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least this version, anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have the steelbook or the normal?
Hey,
Yeah,
me, I had.
Steelbook.
Oh,
Okay. Because I can't lie, the slipcover's pretty damn good too.
I do like that slipcover.
I know I debated on getting the slipcover, but I'm like, nah, I gotta go with the steelbook. Steelbook's
Alright.
damn good too.
Go ahead and show yours first, and then I'll show
Alright.
mine.
I still got my one that came in the semi truck somewhere.
And I
Then-
watched parts of it last night, and yeah, it didn't look too bad.
I watched the whole thing, and then I did some comparing, so I'm going to talk about it real quick. But I was going to show you guys mine.
I was watching another movie too last night.
That's fine. That's fine. But I thought I'd pull a Tom tonight and do like Tom does. So I have first the VHS, which I do like the cover art on this VHS, if I can get it without the glare. And Tom, it's from your favorite company, Video Treasures.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is that the media one? But no, never
No.
mind.
Video Treasures, unfortunately. But I do like the cover art on the VHS there. So I got that, and then I got the 2014 Dark Skies Steelbook.
I have that too.
Of this one. Now, I actually did pop this in to check it out to go along with this. This is the new one here. I would kind of wish they would have put something on the back there. I really do. But yeah, as far as I can tell, and what I've read is that this one, the 4K, is a new scan. They say it is a new scan, and it includes the HDR10. I think it looks great. It's probably the best it's ever going to look. But I did pop in the Dark Skies Blu-ray from 2014, and like I told Tom earlier, some scenes look exactly the same on the Blu-ray. But there's certain scenes in the new 4K scan, at least that's what they say it is, especially like the wider scenes and whatnot, that you can tell where the HDR really pops and really helps it out. So I would recommend getting the new 4K, especially if you missed out on the Turbine German one. If you want to upgrade to 4K, I'd get the new one. But if you have the 2014 one, let's be honest here. This movie was shot on 16 millimeter, the cheapest 16 millimeter they could find. They had to go in close ups and with certain lighting techniques to get it to show. So you can't really go wrong with either copy. But thoughts, Runner? Thoughts?
No, I need to watch the 4K as a whole. I try to watch like certain scenes. Like I watched like the beginning. I watched like parts of the middle, and then like I watched the whole ending. That's not funny. It makes no sense for what we're talking about.
It's perfectly funny, man.
Come on, Dan. You can do better than that. Jesus.
It's become a running joke now.
I know, but god damn it, man. You're a lot more creative than that. I'm sorry. I gotta tell you the fucking truth on that. But no, I wish I had the time to see most of it. I've been busy lately for school and all that, and I watched most of this other movie that I'm going to show next.
Yeah, I watched it and I enjoyed it. I really enjoy the movie. I think it's a great horrific movie. I really thought the scene with her eye when she's screaming and they go into close up. I really thought the HDR, the 4K popped on that. You could literally see the whole what the pigmentation of the green of her eye and everything in that. I thought that really looked really good in 4K. But I don't know. I have never seen the German one or the the other stuff, and I thought it did look better than the Blu-ray that I have.
The reflection glare on the chainsaw part of the steelbook's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very, very shiny.
Yeah. So I think it's a horror classic. Toby Hooper did great. Now I really want to pick up part 2 on 4K, which I have not yet. And I know, Tom, you have part 2 on 4K. I really want to get that. And I kind of want to see Leatherface now, part 3. And I really have no interest to go back and see the Matthew McConaughey one. But I kind of want to, just because if I start watching all 4 of them, I'm going to want to get to that one.
Well, it looks like I may not have to get confirmation, although I still probably will. But according to this Bloody Disgusting article, this is the same 2014 scan.
Oh, it is the same scan?
Yep.
Okay,
this came out just earlier last week or whatever.
Okay.
From Bloody Disgusting, yeah. So it utilizes the same scan as the 2014 release. So
all right,
that would probably be the same one that they used over at
the Turbine.
So, yep.
So all they've added was the HDR, right?
I'm assuming it's probably the same thing that Turbine. I think it's the same exact release. The only difference is less soundtracks.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to double check, and like I said, I'm gonna check into it otherwise to confirm it. But that sounds pretty. It's pretty close to confirming it for me. So, knowing that those were based on the same scan, so because that was the last time Toby Hooper signed off on it.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense because, like I said, I did compare, and I also in my video I did, which check out my video if nobody's seen it in the chat and watching. I did say I would put in the Blu-ray, and some of it does. I made sure. I think it still looks good, but yeah, if it's the same scan. I
compared it to the 4K Blu-ray release, the standard edition, but based on the 4K scan, and then I watched a couple of scenes off the 4K non-UHD or non-HDR version that I had. And then I watched the HDR version. And I could tell the biggest leap between the Blu-ray and the 4K version, but not much of a difference between the standard 4K and the HDR version.
Mm, okay.
And I haven't checked this one out to compare it to the other one, but I'm just saying. So yeah, once you get to that point where it's been a good enough scan to begin with, but this looks best the movie's ever been.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I mean. But like I told you guys back when I was reviewing the other release I have, like I said to you guys then, I'm like, if you have that 2014 Blu-ray or whatever, it's pretty good.
It is. That's why I say if you want to get this 4K, I do recommend it. But if you have that 2014 Blu-ray and you're content with that, there's not much of a difference.
So, for being shot on 16 millimeter, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and like I said, it's a classic. And now I really do want to go through So don't be surprised if here soon I have Leatherface, possibly the Matthew McConaughey one, and I
That's the
definitely
only
got to
one I
get this.
don't have.
Yeah, I got it. I'll get maybe because I kind of want to get to all of them now. So we'll
And it
see.
sounds like
We'll see.
from what I've seen here, it looks like most of the special features. I don't know if all of them have been carried over from the Turbine release, but there is a new documentary, I guess, on
Yes,
this
a new
release.
documentary. New feature-length documentary, "The Legacy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre," and supposedly it's the Senna family presents Friedkin and Hooper conversation on the Turbine.
Yes.
Okay, because I was reading last night some website I can't remember. They were saying
I
that
think
was
so,
new
I'm
to
pretty
this.
sure.
It was
Because
new to
I
this
think
one.
that was on. Okay, see, this is the thing: is Dark Sky, when they did their initial release of the 4K scan on Blu-ray, they had like 3 different versions of it. Right, there was the one I had, which was in the semi truck that had like 4 or 5 discs. It had to be 5 because I think it was the Blu-ray, a bonus disc, a DVD, the bonus disc, and then another bonus disc. And on that bonus disc was that Friedkin Hooper conversation.
Okay.
But if you bought the other version, which was either just the 2-disc one or the 1-disc one, obviously it wasn't on those. But now, so it just sounds like they've brought it over to this release now. So
Yeah.
if you had that old 5-disc release that was in the truck with all the goodies and stuff in it, then you probably already have all these extras aside from the new one. But yeah, so like it sounds like everything's been cold here. There's like 400 hours of extras on this disc. So they may have everything that was on that last one. That's what I remember saying about Turbines Edition, was how chock full of shit that one was that I'd never seen before.
Yeah, this has got a lot. I mean, a lot.
So they may have everything that was on their old, plus the new stuff, plus this new one. This has got to be the ultimate one as far as I know. And the only thing I'm not sure about is the one other documentary that I have separately that is on the Turbine Edition. I don't know if that's here. And that's like a family portrait, I think.
Looking on the back here. Shocking Truth, Flesh Wounds, A Tour of the House, Off the Hook, The Business, Deleted Out Grandpa's Tale, Cutting the Chainsaw. I do not think that one is on here.
I was going to say that is on the Turbine, but I don't think it's on any of the US editions, but you can buy it separately in the US. That's why.
Okay. So yeah, that one's not on here.
It's not the best quality of a documentary, but it is a good one.
That's cool.
Like it's an older documentary, but yeah.
But to be honest, I missed out on the German one, so I am happy to have this 4K, and I can recommend it, especially if you didn't get the German 4K one. I can recommend
probably for the price. It's probably better off just to do this, I'd imagine too.
Yeah.
I think you can still get the Turbine Edition, but I think it costs quite a bit, and you might even still be able to get a family portrait for pretty cheap, because I think I got it for pretty cheap before I got this edition.
I'm gonna have to look into that and see it out, and it gets a nice little poster.
Oh, nice.
Original cover art. I'm trying to unfold it here. Yeah. Or you can use the new slipcover one.
Nah. That's why I didn't get the new slipcover. I didn't care for that. I heard you guys liked it, but I
kind of liked it. I think it looks pretty cool, but I do prefer the classic, the original artwork. But yeah, that's as I know Runner had the BRB, so that's about all I have to say on that. And
that's all you have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that. But if you do want to hear me talk about it, I did do a video on it, so check out the video.
I suppose I can go then.
Yeah. What do you got for us?
Well, as I hinted, I have Grumpy and Grumpier Old Men here, and these are in need of a bad remaster.
See, hiding that salami.
Taking the boat to Tuna Town.
I love.
It's okay. I'm a doctor.
I love. Man, I would call him Mickey. I would call him Mickey, but I love him in those movies.
Burgess.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith. Yeah.
Yeah, I love these films. They're classics. They still hold up. Like I said, they don't look horrible, but they're 2 movies on 1 disc. And they definitely need a new scan. These are older scans. Now, Odd Couple 2, technically, Bryant, to answer your question, happened because Grumpiest Old Men fell apart. I don't know what the reasoning was or what happened, and I can't believe it did happen, because the second one, as far as I know, is just as much as a success as the first film. Blah. We're close to it. But it just didn't work out. Something got in the way, and the director of part 2 moved over to Odd Couple 2, and that's history. So, yeah. I mean, who's to say that the third film wouldn't have been pretty similar to what Odd Couple 2 was anyway? I mean, even though they already eloped, there was probably would have been. What are you going to do with them on a third film like that?
We follow them into the casket.
Right, like it had to. Your only choice is to like send them on some kind of road trip with their wives, on a vacation. Kind of
or
movie,
one of them gets sick
or something. You don't want to go too depressing either.
Yeah,
so
you won't do that. But I won't deny. Anne Margaret was still pretty hot in that first movie.
Oh yeah, so, and I'll argue that the second film is one of those rare movies where you have a sequel that might be better than the first one.
Yeah.
Because I think that the second film hits a lot more funnier points and more I mean, come on, we were just talking about him. The scene where Burgess Meredith dies is heartbreaking as hell.
Oh yeah, big
who
time.
doesn't cry at that part? It's like
he's first in Rocky characters. And then in Grumpy's Old Man, and you're like, oh yeah, I get you.
It's like, and it makes it worse because then Jack Lemmon has to say the line, it looks like God remembered you, Pop. And of course that's the cracker if you weren't already.
Yeah, that. Man, you gonna make me sad.
Sometimes I wonder if God just forgot about me. Yeah, you shouldn't smoke those, Dad. You smoke lights. I'm 92 years old and I weigh 90 pounds. Every morning I wake up and I have 5 strips of bacon. And for lunch, I have a bacon sandwich. And then for an afternoon snack, I have a big goddamn plate of bacon. That's right.
He's so good at that.
Then I usually drink my supper.
He does steal a lot of the stuff he's in that movie. In those movies, he steals a lot of the scenes.
Colder than a witch's titty out here. You mount the woman, son. You mount her.
So it's just a good. Really, I mean, you think back and it's like that wouldn't sell today. I don't care if it's Walter Matthau, because people like nobody wants to see old people in a movie, and you go, well, yeah, at one point in time we did, and these guys were awesome and they were hilarious, and it doesn't matter that they were old,
Oh, Walter Matthau is one of those guys that he can just make me laugh with a look.
Yeah,
right? just a look sometimes is all it takes. But some of his one-liners are just amazing, and Jack Lemmon's good at the fast-paced, hyperactive kind of humor. Yeah. And again, their chemistry works, even though they're playing two similar but very different characters from their Odd Couple counterparts, especially, like I said, Jack Lemmon, who's playing a much different kind of role there. But it's similar-ish, but it's not exactly the same, right? I mean, he's clearly... Right. Not as much of a slob as the other character is, but at the same time, he doesn't have his shit together like Felix would. He's behind on his taxes, and he gets in trouble with the IRS and all that shit. And,
he's a little depressed.
Yeah, he's depressed, and
his wife and all that.
Yeah.
And I do love the scene when Walter Matthau has that remote and he's changing his channels. I love that
he
scene.
Started it.
Exactly. I love the feud between the two.
I'm sorry, I cannot abide by this fight that's been going on since 1938. 1932. Or 1940, he says. No, 1938. That's what he said.
Yeah. And then it's all over because of the woman, as always.
Yep.
And then improv scenes and then credits were hilarious. Yeah. They were.
Yeah, hands down. The second film probably has some of the best of those ever outtakes, and these probably started it from my recollection. Besides, this is the first time since probably like the Cannonball Run movies where you've actually had the outtakes in the ending,
right?
Again, and I think this started that trend again, if you ask me, because like that was the first time I remember seeing it again, and just all of Burgess's lines that they had him go through were hilarious in all those outtakes. Man, it was just. He's taking the boat to Tuna Town.
Man-sized manicotti or whatever he says.
Well, that's a second. Yeah. Can I take you home and show you my man-sized manicotti?
I remember that.
I've been to Hawaii once. Oh, yeah, what island? Come on, I want to lay you.
It's so true because, to be honest with you,
nobody slept with anyone. Speak for yourself.
they're a
why I
dying breed.
the second film has like just pound for pound more humor in it, right? Like, it's just non-stop between the one-liners and just the setups and the payoffs in that second film. I mean, the first film's good, don't get me wrong, but it just has that same formulaic kind of odd couple kind of feel to it. The second film, though, especially when they start working together, is hilarious. To try and get the bait shop back or whatever, or to destroy the restaurant, because it's like, it's just, it's a little corny, but you can believe it because these guys have held a grudge for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, or 50 years at that point. So, like, damn well they're going to, like.
Yeah. I mean, plus we get Sophia Loren as well, too. So.
Yeah, and her mom, the character, is also pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, like, you get everybody going in this because, like, everybody gets somebody in this one, and it's all like, it really is a really great extension of the first movie and a really great sequel that you can argue that it is better than the first movie.
Then, of course, you got the catfish hunter bit, which is amazing, too, in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some movies that did have outtakes back in the day, but it was like, it had been a while when the Grumpy Old Men did them. That was the first time I remember seeing them in a while. Then every movie started doing it again.
Speaking of which, the movie I showed, Ready to Rumble, actually has the outtakes in the credits like that.
Yeah.
Not that it says in the leagues of these movies.
No, but it came out close to the same time.
Yeah, it did. 2000.
96, wasn't it? Oh, it was even later.
It came out 2000. Yeah.
Let me guess. You haven't even seen these either, Runner, at all.
I don't even think Runner's there right now.
No, he's not. He's probably
gone. He's gone. He had to go watch Netflix on his phone.
That means he had to take a shit, probably.
What happened to comedic actor? Just a dying breed. Hollywood doesn't want those type of actors in their movies anymore. They want certain things that doesn't appeal to the masses anymore. So that's the best I can say about that. Oh, did we have movement on Runner? Okay,
I'm back. Sorry, I had something.
You watch Netflix on your phone?
It's okay.
No, fuck off. I'm back. Sorry, it took too long.
No, that's all right. We're talking movies you've never seen.
We hadn't even mentioned the supporting cast. You got Kevin Pollak. You got a mermaid.
Daryl Hannah.
Ozzie Davis in the first one.
Yep, Ozzie Davis. Oh, that was so sad when he dies too.
Yeah. I noticed this time around, I noticed something that was fucked up.
What's that?
When they go into the bait shop and talk to Ozzie Davis, they talk about last night when it was actually the night before. They must have moved that scene with Ozzie Davis so it was closer to him going over to Ariel's house.
Oh,
because that scene should have taken place earlier in the film. Because they talk about the night before when it was actually 2 nights before, which is kind of fucked up. And I'm like, wait a minute, that was 2 nights before. Well, there's already been another day in between there.
Huh.
I can't remember what they refer to, but they refer to something that happened in an earlier scene, and you're like, no, that was 2 nights ago.
They had to edit it out of order to get to where they needed. I think they did it
on purpose, just so you kind of drew the comparison a little bit more. It was like so his 2 scenes were closer together, probably.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it would have been spaced out a little bit more. You would have had his opening scene with them. This would have been in like the middle, and then his other bit wouldn't have come until the first part of the last part of the second act or first part of the third act. I can't remember where it is. Because then he dies right after that. So that I think they did that on purpose to kind of push them a little bit closer together, probably. I mean, I got to imagine there's tons and tons of outtakes and shit. I mean, we just seen from the stuff they do show.
There's got to be there. Yeah, oftentimes I wonder where are the outtakes they won't show us, because there's outtakes where they're just like, we can't let the public see these at all. So
not just that, but entire plot lines that get dropped.
Exactly, that tough stuff too. It's like, oh, we can't show this because this wasn't in the movie. This was a deleted scene, or we can't show this because people can't see that. Like, there's oftentimes, not to. I mean, I know this isn't part of this, but like, supposedly there's a outtake from the X-Men, the second X-Men movie with Magneto and Rebecca Romijn and a hot dog. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was. When they're in the fire,
a hot dog.
When the plane crashes and they're sitting around a fire, it's like sort of camping or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, Rebecca Romaine, and I can't think of Magneto's name. I know his name. He's
Ian
Gandalf.
McKellen.
Yeah, Ian McKellen. Supposedly they were doing a little something with a hot dog around the fire in between takes that they filmed.
Geez.
So I know it's out there, but we'll never see it because who knows what the hell they were doing with that hot dog. So.
Being around a fire and the fact that Ian McKellen's gay, I would think they were just roasting a hot dog, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I remember reading about it.
If I was working on a fire and I knew I was working on fire scenes, I would eventually do that. I'd just sit there and be pulling out for a laugh.
Yeah.
Like I'm roasting a hot dog or marshmallow. I pull out a bag of marshmallows and a stick or something.
Yeah.
Just to be funny.
I would too, probably. But yes, the runner you really should see. He probably wouldn't like him. I was going to say he should watch the Grumpy Old Men movies, but he probably wouldn't like them because, I mean, he liked Tron Legacy over Tron, the original. So
I like the original Tron. What? I like it. I got more enjoyment out of the second movie.
We're having a heat wave.
Heat wave. But that is, I do really enjoy the movies. Those are good movies.
Up yours, Gustafson.
Oh, the fish in the car. The fish in the car. I love that.
Tell me, do I smell?
I do tend to watch the first one sometimes around the Christmas season every once in a while.
Yeah, that one's a bit more of a holiday one. But that's what I also love about the sequel taking place in the summertime too. So it's
yeah, I do like that because like in the first one it's mostly cold and wintry, and then the second one you get to see them in the summertime.
But the joke is they're still doing the same shit.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
nothing's really changed.
Just now they're in boats. Like,
yeah.
I love that when they're trying to catch catfish on her. Grab the net. You cut the net, dickhead. Drop the anchor. You cut that too.
Greg, I will watch the movie out of curiosity, and I'll let you know what I think.
It's Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men.
More 1 and 2. Punch.
More on punch. To be honest, as a kid, I used to wonder, how does Walter Matthau's hair stay black?
Tell me, do you know John Gustafson? John Gustafson. Ever seen him? John Gustafson. Oh, I've heard of John Gustafson. Weird guy. Hangs around those strange bars, the gay bars.
They had such great comedic timing. I mean, the lines were great. The movies were great. It's just fun, classic Hollywood comedies from a bygone era. Really, truly was. But I guess, what are we on? Are we on our last?
I think it's Runner's turn.
Yeah, it's my turn, I think.
Okay, what do you got, Runner?
So this one, yeah, that's fake news, Steven. the audience would hate that. The chat would hate it. They would miss me, and they'd be like,
depends on who he announces your replacement.
well, Steven says that he's going to be my replacement.
Well, we just might be bringing in some more guns. If we replace you with anybody, it'll be with Robert. I mean,
yeah, Robert.
Well, see, that's not a bad replacement, honestly. Well, he's replaced me like twice when I wasn't here.
It's been like the highest watched shows ever. So.
Oh really?
Just saying.
I'd love to. I'd love to see it, Greg.
Just go back and look at the viewings. They're the highest watched.
Whatever.
I'm sure.
Maybe they are. That's great.
We just gotta pick on you.
Yeah.
This movie came out on 4K. It's part of the Warner Brothers. What is it? 100th anniversary type thing. And
does King Kong got nothing on him?
Yeah.
Did he really deserve an Oscar for that movie?
No,
but it's a damn good performance.
It's all right.
I got the steel book because I don't like the cover for the.
If one thing I didn't like Denzel playing a bad guy either.
I thought he did a damn good.
He's
job.
all right in it, but it wasn't. I think it was a little overhyped. But I haven't watched it since.
Me
then, so
too.
I should rewatch it again, but I must not have ordered it. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I think you should rewatch it at some point. Is this Antoine Fuqua's first like feature film?
I don't know about his first, but
Okay. It might have been his like first big movie because he used to like do like music videos and shit. I agree with Brian Barth. He should have won for Malcolm X. That was great. Are you talking about the fucking Steelbook cover art?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Because the cover art for the Slip is much worse.
Either way, I'm with Tom. It's not that I hate the movie. It's just I think it's overhyped and
No,
that's
that's
I'm not
understandable.
into it. It's like like I've said before, you legitimately wait for him just to say that one line. King Kong ain't got none on me. It's like everybody was telling me about this movie.
King Kong ain't
how
got
great
shit
it
on
was.
me.
Whatever. It's like everybody. I'm like, this is it. This is the movie that was so like everybody was like into. It's just yeah, that's cool the way he delivers
yeah,
that
but
line,
trailer and
but-
the runner, it was the other take. They couldn't say shit on TV.
Yeah, they couldn't say shit on TV.
Oh,
So it was
that's
always
why.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me
Exactly.
in every goddamn trailer.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, because
No,
that was the line for the movie that everybody was like, yeah.
I do agree. He should have won for Man on Fire. He was great in that movie.
I like that. Cause
No, I
it's
like
nothing like
Denzel,
me.
That's nothing like
I like that.
No, that must be on my list to get list Black Friday. Like I get to certain ones I usually wait for.
You shot me in the ass. That's a
Yeah, I
line.
know that's from the movie. I know. I just you're I do- it's not just not my
I want to
cup of
go
tea.
home, Jake. I want to go home.
Runner, you have a certain taste in movies. I will give you that.
I like it. I don't get it.
And
I
a
don't
strange
understand the
taste in
hatred.
men.
Fuck you. That is bullshit.
But you
A little homophobic in your response there, Runner.
It's not homophobic. I'm just not gay.
those seriously. Let's see the steelbook, the front and the back. You showed the front. What's the back? Does it have something on the back?
Well,
That's the
it's
Steelbook?
yeah. This
Exactly.
is a steelbook.
Here, let's show you so you can show the steelbook off completely. Oh, it's got bullet holes. Does it got a picture on the inside?
That could be the back of Bad Boys.
Bad boys, bad boys. Oh.
They
Yeah.
might kiss.
Holy shit.
Runner is a racism.
Runner, how dare you?
Nobody did reunite those two in Magnificent Seven.
They
Oh,
did.
that's true. That is, I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I just now thought about that.
It's not the worst of the remakes. It's all right.
Yeah. You know, Greg's saying that this movie, or he thinks that it's not as good. Greg is just as high. Listen, Greg is just as high as Ethan Hawke in the movie when he smokes that joint.
Not sound like Seth Rogen. That's horrible.
You might as well be Seth Rogen, Greg.
Hell, you. Yeah.
He's
Now
not.
that
nearly
Runner
as
has left the
annoying as
show.
Seth Rogen. Jesus.
Now that Runner's left the
that
show.
was his last one anyway. Yeah. He's always running away when it's the end of the show.
Always running away. It's like I said, I don't think Training Day is a bad movie. I do think it is a good movie, but it's not something I'm really into. And I thought it was way overhyped. Way overhyped. And I think Denzel deserved an Oscar for so many other performances. And yeah, I did. Yeah, I'd much rather see him be a hero. But it's nice to see that he did try to at least take on a villain role.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a villain role, but like, you're kind of rooting for him at the same time. That's kind of how I look at it.
I mean, seriously, by the end of the movie, you kind of want Ethan Hawke to kill him. To be honest.
Nah.
I was like, you're trying to be this cop, and you clearly see your partner here, guy you got here, is bad. Either arrest him or kill his ass because he's going to just do worse shit.
Well, no, he was told to go away.
I
That's the
know.
thing.
It just was.
He was told to go away by that one dude, and they said that they were gonna handle it. The fucking like neighborhood and shit. I forget the guy's name, but they're like, was it that one dude? I always forget his name, but he tells Ethan Hawke to back off and stuff, saying like, "Oh yeah, we got this. You can just go."
Hmm.
Because honestly, if he had like killed him, it probably wouldn't have done him any good in his record and shit. So I was fine with it.
Yeah. There's you some trivia though. Denzel kills Scott Glenn in Training Day. Scott Glenn was actor in the original Man on Fire. Denzel did the remake. So I did not know that.
I didn't think of that.
I did not know that.
That's a pretty damn good connection.
Did Denzel win an Oscar for Glory? I thought
did.
Training Day was his first Oscar.
No, he won.
Was he like
He
Best
won,
Supporting Actor or something for
no,
Glory?
he won Best Supporting Actor for Glory. Yes.
Okay, so like Training Day was his Best Actor, not
Correct.
the like big. Okay, I get you.
Correct. Yeah, and I agree. There are objectively better roles or better performances that he has done, but seeing him again in this movie, he's damn good. Like he does a damn good job.
And yeah, Denzel's a great actor. It's just, I think it's just an overhyped movie.
I don't know. I haven't really heard about it until like last year or so.
But that's because you're like 19 years old, though. So,
well, because here's the thing: it doesn't get as much hype now.
Yeah, the movie's release was what was it in the 90s?
No, it was 2001 is when it came out.
That was like 22 years ago.
Yeah,
it's older than you.
Yeah, well, 2 years older than me.
That's why you never heard a lot of people talk about it.
That's okay.
All right, though. But seriously, that's cool. I'm glad you picked up. I did see that at Best Buy, and I said no. I was not going to buy that.
Well, no, you know what's weird? Like the slipcover ones, like it doesn't come with the 4K like box or whatever. It comes with the Blu-ray looking thing. Like, have you seen that?
No. What do you mean?
I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna share a picture. Fuck. It's on Twitter. I've seen it on Twitter.
Anyways,
I need to find it. You guys can talk.
I don't think we have much to say about Training Day, do we, Tom? We've said most of.
You guys probably don't.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
What about Godzilla? Now, does he got shit on you? Because
he's got all kinds of shit all over me.
Oh man, I think that's Mothra shit. So
the guys that killed him at the end of the movie, that's Godzilla right there.
I root for King Kong though. Yeah, Crimson Tide with Gene Hackman.
I don't root for King Kong because he don't got no shit on Alonzo in Training Day.
Alfonso Ribeira, Will Smith's partner.
Alonzo, that's Denzel's character in Training Day. Jesus Christ! I know you're not.
Do the Carlton. Come on, do the Carlton.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
Did you find it?
I did find it.
Share it up so we can get to it.
All right. This right here, when you get the slip for, and by the way, yes, this is terrible cover art right here. Like it does not look good. The Steelbook cover art's better. That's why I bought the Steelbook. But another reason why I didn't buy it is because it comes with the Blu-ray case. See that?
What do you mean? It's a blue case, not a black case?
Yes, but with the Blu-ray
4K
logo.
For the 4K?
For the 4K, yes.
Is this what you was talking about earlier, Tom?
Yeah, and I guess the right discs are in there.
Correct.
I don't know if they just had a fuck up. I don't know if they had a fuck up in the facility, if they ran out of 2-disc 4K covers or something, and they just said fuck it and ran them in Blu-ray covers or what. But
That was
yeah,
my guess, but I even looked at the ones in the store, and yeah, they all have the normal slipcovers have the Blu-ray case on it, which is weird.
Huh. Well, I'm planning on buying it anyway, so it doesn't affect me.
Nah, I know, it's weird. Like, I'm curious if this is gonna happen to other titles too, coming up.
Maybe Warner Brothers, if they ran out of the 4K cases.
I don't see how you can run out of 4K cases like
maybe
that.
it was somebody's first day and last. That's all I know.
Yeah. Hey man, look at all these I just ran off. You're fired. Oh. Just picture that's how it went down in his head, at the factory. Well, you got to speak Chinese or something because they don't have American factories like that anymore. So
Mexico, I think, has one.
yeah, Mexico, Spanish.
Yeah, I agree. The blank covers do look better when it comes to concept art. Absolutely. That's very true.
All right. Final thoughts, Runner.
It's a good movie. I would say most people like it, or most people would like it, unless you're Greg. Then
No,
enjoy
I
it.
said I didn't. I never said I didn't like it. I just said it was overhyped and
I
it's not something I care to
yeah,
rewatch all the time.
it's weird. Like you say that. I feel like you say you don't like it, and then you're like, oh, it's just overhyped.
It's
Cause I remember when the rumors were coming out that it was coming out in 4K, and I shared it to you guys in the group chat, and Greg's like,
you got you got to listen to the way I say things. Because sometimes I say things. It's if it's not that I don't want it or don't. It's not that I don't like it. I can appreciate a movie for it being actually being an all right movie, but it's not something I'm going to find myself rewatching. So
okay,
if you get what I'm trying to say.
you didn't explain it like that the first time, but I get it. I get it.
All right.
I do that too.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on to my final pick, and then we'll head into Tom's final pick. So my final pick of the night is a George Romero remake, which I actually do like, and that would be
Night of the Living Dead.
no, The Crazies, starring Timothy Oliphant. It is a remake of George Romero's movie, The Crazies, from the 70s. Now, I don't hate this remake. I think this is actually a pretty decent remake. And I'm going to say something that you're not going to like, Runner. I think it's better than the Dawn of the Dead remake.
I knew you were going to say that.
And I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I really do.
Sadly, I've never seen either.
Never. Really?
Nope.
The remake of The Crazies is definitely is more in touch with what's actually going on in the world today than I think maybe the original. The original, that's why I say this is a decent remake because, yeah, when you hear like, oh, they're remaking Dawn of the Dead, you're like, no, you don't want Dawn of the Dead remade. That was one of George Romero's, that movie was definitive in its own right. It's a great movie. You don't need to remake it, and then you remake it, and it's not bad. The Crazies is a George Romero movie where it's like, yeah, I see what he was going there. That maybe could be told in a different way. So I actually didn't get to finish watching all the original Crazies. I was wanting to refresh my memory, but I didn't get to finish watching it all. So, but essentially, the remake of The Crazies here is really, really good. Timothy Oliphant plays a small town sheriff. It's just turning springtime. It's a really small town, and then people start going crazy, and they come to find out the government plane crashed in the lake into their drinking water carrying a biological agent that is a virus, and it gets into their water supply, and the people that drink it, it's like gives them fevers and their brain swells, and they start basically going crazy and killing each other. And it's sort of zombie-esque, but they're not really zombies. They're still like human beings. I would say it has more in touch with if you guys have ever seen 28 Days Later, with like the raids, they're called the rage zombies in that, where they're not fast or anything. These are still people. It's just like their veins are popping out and their eyes are all bloodshot and they're dripping blood throughout their nose and they're going around killing people. So the government
Uh,
comes in and they're like trying to contain this area, this one area, closing everybody down, taking everybody away, killing people and burning them and everything. And the virus is called Trixie. And Timothy Oliphant, his wife, his deputy, and his wife's assistant, who's like a young girl, because his wife's the doctor of the town. They're trying to get out of the town before they're killed by either the government, by the military men, or by the crazies. So, and they tell them, either you have it in 48 hours or you don't. So they feel like they don't have it, and they're just trying to break out of town. And it gets really intense. I forgot what, because I haven't seen this in a long time. And this movie gets really, really intense and freaky and scary in situations. And I really, really enjoy it. And I do honestly, I think it's a better remake than Dawn of the Dead remake. And I do really, really like the Dawn of the Dead remake. So I'm not trying to say I hate that movie, because I like both of those movies. And it's just, I think this is another one of those that kind of went under the radar because it came out in a time when they were remaking everything. Everything was being remade in the early 2000s, which we're still getting remakes. But like all the classic horror movies are being remade. And I think The Crazies is a movie that lends itself to a movie that could be remade, because it wasn't one of George Romero's biggest. It wasn't one of his like best. It was a story there that I think you could have put a new spin on, and I really think they put a good spin on the remake. Because like with the original Crazies, it's a fireman are the main characters. In this one, it's police, and they do similar beats. It's similar story. Actually, they make it a little more contained in the new movie, and it really, if you once you watch it, it really kind of fits into what's going on in society today. There's even a line in the new Crazies where he's like, when they got the government official down there and asking what's going on, he goes, and he's telling him it's a biological agent that was put in this called Trixie, whatever. And it's either we either blow up this town and kill everybody, or we cause a global pandemic. Which one do you prefer? And it's like, whoa, you probably couldn't do that in a movie today. So yeah. But that's just me. That's me. I enjoy the Crazies remake. So yeah. I love the original too. It kind of feels like it takes place after, because it sort of got some of those people from the Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead within the movie, as I remember. But I was trying to finish watching the original, but I never got to finish it all. You're all clean, virus free. We can sign you out. Yeah. But it's a very great movie. It's very scary. I do recommend the remake. I love Timothy Oliphant, his character. I love his acting, from Justified to. It's so funny to see him go from Mickey in Scream 2 to like this. He's really become like this Southern. Yeah, I want to say Southern, like everyday type of guy, cowboy type guy, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I love his acting, and I think he does a really great role in that movie. And it's very intense and it's very scary. So I know I'm probably the only one on the panel here that's seen it. So that was my final pick of the night. Any words?
None whatsoever. I'll need to watch it.
I think you'll enjoy it. And it's definitely one where I won't fault you if you say you like the new one better than the original.
Okay.
So, because I actually do think the remake is better than the original, but the original is still a great movie and a classic.
It's understandable.
Yeah. All right, Tom, what do you got for us for your final pick?
All right. Well, let's see here. I was trying to figure out what the hell the shenanigans were all about when it came to the Rocky business. So I got both the 4-pack and the steelbook here, because the rest of these don't come out till next week. And just so you see what I had going into this before, I had the old just Undisputed collection and the DVD that came out with a 2-disc. I think there were some special features that weren't on here. And I don't think any those extra special features, I don't think carry over to here either. So keep that in mind. But yeah, so the way it seems like they've figured out the special features is you get the Blu-rays in this version, which has all the Rocky special features on it. But you don't get the Blu-rays in this edition. They just have a bonus disc with the special features for Rocky and Rocky 4, which is just an hour-long documentary with Sly talking about putting together the Rocky versus Drago thing and a little bit about Rocky in general. But As far as the transfers from what I've seen, I watched the first one and part of part 2, and they look pretty good. In fact, I think they even redid some of the transitions to where you're seeing negative in shots you normally wouldn't. And when you want to kind of see what I say when I see the difference between seeing the negative and something that's not, watch the beginning of Rocky 2 compared to the end of Rocky 1. Because all those
Right.
shots from Rocky 1 at the end of Rocky 1 are in Rocky 2, but it's from a second or third or fourth generation print compared to the negative, and you can see the difference. And yeah, that's a big difference there. But once you get past that intro in Rocky 2 and the credits, then it looks really good. I haven't got a chance to see Rocky 3 or 4 yet, but I remember watching the recut of Rocky 4 like last year or whatever it was, and it looked pretty good. So, no, I'm surprised considering MGM. Maybe Warner Brothers handled these. I don't know because they are distributed by WB, but the only thing I really have to complain about is they have the new MGM and UA logos still on them, and I hate that.
Oh.
And the second one even
Yeah,
has a
I get
newer MGM logo than the other one did. For
Why
some
can't they
reason,
just leave the old logos in there? I mean,
I wish they would. I don't know why they change them out. But for those who are purists, you might be upset because it claims to have the original theatrical audio on it, but it is not. It is stereo. Because the original movie has only had a mono track. And I think it's even just a fold down of the new 5.1 remix. Because they did have 5.1 remixes before for the older discs. But this is a new remix, I guess, a brand new one for all 4 of the films anyway that are in this set. So, and I can't guarantee you that any of the other quote unquote original audio tracks are actually the stereo tracks or fold downs of the 5.1. I haven't listened to them yet, but the Rocky 2 one sure did sound like it was just a fold down, even though Rocky 2 is in stereo. So,
right.
Go figure. If you're somebody who's a purist, you might have a problem with that, but I didn't have a problem with the new 5.1 mixes. Sounded really good so far. In fact, I was hearing things that I don't even remember even really hearing so well before. So that's always a nice plus.
That's good. I do like when you can, I didn't remember hearing that before, so I do like that.
And I understand some people don't like some of the more modern remixes because they take out a lot of the hiss and certain other things, and sometimes they'll change out some sound effects, but I didn't notice anything being out of place here. So, yeah, I mean, overall, the scan looks pretty good. There's some crushing in some scenes, but I think they also had an issue with the negative, and that might be part of it. I'm not so sure if it's crushing or if it's because I think they had sometimes you'll have in the negative in film where it'll like go like this. It'll look like on the screen, but what it
like
is
the
is
waves.
like, and what it is actually each frame is like something happened and like maybe some light went through the reel and exposed differently certain frames, so you'll have like what it looks like a wave effect, and it seems to affect darker parts of the screen more. And they have ways of counterbalancing it with algorithms, and they can fix it because almost every film has some kind of wave problem, whether it's up and down, left to right, something or other that causes it. Sometimes it's because of warping, sometimes it's because of fading. It all depends. Rocky clearly has some issues, but it looks like they did the best they could to combat the issues that those scenes have it. Because I'm noticing it because one review I read said something about crushing, and I'm like, I didn't see so much crushing, but there's something going on when they're trying to combat that wave, especially in the darker shots, that it's more noticeable, but it's not destroying the overall structure of the picture. Get what I'm saying? So it's not overly detrimental. Some people were saying they saw DNR. I didn't notice hardly any, if at all, on Rocky. Like, it looks beautiful for considering most of what MGM's prints look like. Even the opening shot when you see that window pane, which shouldn't technically be off the negative because it fades in from the Rocky logo. I think it is from the negative because it looks that good. And I think they redid a lot of the transitions in the movie.
I was thinking about that.
There's a few you can tell they didn't.
Right.
But like, because the very last shot of the film you can tell is not from the negative because it had to be to the freeze frame. So that you can tell there's a little bit difference in that compared to some of the other shots. But there's very few shots that I could tell that weren't from the negative.
I was thinking about because you brought that up earlier on 4K for you about the scans look better for what most MGMs was. Weren't the Rocky movies were supposed to be released by somebody else, and then something happened and they had to find somebody else to release them?
Was it Kino or somebody like that was going to do them? I can't remember.
Maybe that's the person that did the scan or something. Yeah.
Because it's a very well balanced. I honestly, it's one of the better. I mean, it's not a great looking movie. Let's say that up front. First of all, Rocky has never been a good looking movie. It's a very cheaply shot indie film, basically. Sure, it was released by MGM, but it was shot like an indie movie.
Right. It was low
So
budget.
That's true.
cheap film stock, not a lot of bright scenes. The most color you're going to get out of the movie is when you get to the boxing scene at the end.
Mhm.
Right? That's when you're going to feel like, holy shit, like you all of a sudden get kind of hit with something in the face because all of a sudden you're not seeing drab and dry. Well, that's because that's what Philadelphia looks like through the whole movie, is gray and dark.
Mhm.
And then when you get to the boxing arena, it's all full of lights and flooded and colorful. It's a little different, you know.
You got
But, I
reds
mean, on
and
that-
yellows and blues.
Right. So don't expect this movie to look like something like Star Wars should. Right. First and foremost. But it looks like it should fucking look. It is grainy. There is a very well-defined grain structure here.
See, I like
it
that.
looks
though.
like how film should fucking look.
Yeah, I want to feel like I'm unspoiling the print and watching it. That's what I want it to look like when I'm watching it.
There is a couple of shots where I don't know what this is. I would love to figure out what it is. And I don't. You guys remember me griping about the Cat's Eye remaster,
Yes.
where all the
Mhm.
white was blown out green. There's
Oh,
a few
yeah.
shots in this for some reason. It must just be something to do with however the film reacts to a certain light. When who was it, Mean Joe Green, or who was it? The boxer that comes in at the end now. I can't even remember who it was at the time. Somebody
Oh
in the
yeah.
chat will remember. When he comes in, he has like this light green suit on. And when the way the light hits it, you see that green coloring just like in Cat's Eye. And it does show up once in a while on certain white things, but it only seems to be shiny white things.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that's just some, because it doesn't seem to be like the movie itself has like a wrong color timing or anything like that. Because I in fact think that Sly may have overseen and saw and signed off on all of these. Is another reason why I was going to suggest why they might look different. Because you can see in the editing that he's doing on Rocky IV how much went into that I'm wondering if he just didn't go back in and sign off on all these and recolor time all of them.
Maybe it
Because
is.
I mean the face, like the skin tones on this version compared to the older versions we have, looks so much more realistic. Joe Fraser, like, thank you. That's what it was. Yeah, he's got this really light green suit on, and it really has, like, when the light hits it in certain scenes, at least on my TV, if it looks different to other people, let me know. Maybe I got to mess with my settings a little bit. But like, it has like these weird green lighty dots on it. It just kind of throws me off sometimes, but it just, I noticed it only in like 2 or 3 shots in the movie. It's not like something that's a problem throughout.
Oh, okay. Well,
That could
I mean,
just
that's
very
good.
well
It's
be
good.
inherent to the film itself. So yeah.
At least it's it sounds like it's a really good transfer and everything so far. So I'm happy about that, and I'm looking forward to eventually getting the 4 set there that you got.
Yeah. And normally if something's off color tone, you can see it in when certain colors don't look like they should. And that's why I say I don't think there's a problem, because the reds pop like they should, the blues pop like they should. Like, I know what, like, even on the red, white, and the red and white trunks with the blue strap that like Apollo has on looks correct. So everything looks right. So it don't look like they are off anywhere, over color timed it or anything like that. So
Yeah.
and it's not overly dark or anything like that. You can still see pretty well in the dark scenes what's going on and shit. So
That's pretty good. I'm glad to see it because I showed you my Blu-ray set earlier, so I'm interested in picking up the 4K, see what it looks like. I don't know if you ever see Stallone Return to Rocky with everything that's going on with the rights and what he wants, and
now
how
that
they're
he
just
put out what
brushing
his
him aside.
synopsis was for his Rocky Return film, I think he's done.
Yeah, I think he's done. I mean, he was going to
not
do
a
a
young
prequel
man
at one
anymore
point in
either.
time, a
I was
prequel
gonna
TV
say-
series.
Yeah,
I
was
think
gonna
that was
say,
for Rambo, I think.
No, he shared a script for the
Rambo?
Rocky prequel TV
I thought
series.
that was for a movie.
You talking about the Drago spinoff?
No, never
No,
mind.
he doesn't want Drago to happen. He doesn't want Creed to continue. So
Oh,
Not the way it did anyway. That was
yeah,
what
not
he
the
was
way it
saying.
did. Yeah, because he doesn't have the. He's been fighting to try to get the rights back to Rocky forever, and they're just not the guy.
Which
that
is funny.
got
You would
him,
think
so.
they'd be using these to promote Creed 3. They're not.
Yeah, they're not. You can tell they
There's
have no
nothing
connection.
in them. No coupons, nothing. Not a damn thing to promote Creed 3. Coming out the same week Creed 3 does, mind you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
isn't it supposed to come out in a few days
Yeah,
or tomorrow? That's weird.
the
Yeah.
4th, I think it is, or whatever, this weekend or 3rd or whatever. Or is it the
Yeah,
10th it comes out? Let me look.
It
I'm
doesn't
pretty
really have
sure
the
it's
hype
gonna
behind
be.
it as the first two because of the loss of Stallone,
I
honestly.
agree. Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
the first two movies weren't as big as some people like to think they were either.
Yeah. And I still don't get people's hate for the second one. I really think the second one's
I
better,
like the
I think the
I
personally.
like
second
the
one's better.
I do think the second one's better. I saw the second one in the theater before my theater took it down, but
Me
I'll
too,
watch
Steven.
Me too.
I'll watch. Yeah, I agree. I'll watch Creed 3, but I'm not like
I ain't giving them no money in the theater. Fuck that.
Yeah,
And
no.
I
I
wouldn't
sure as
do
hell,
that.
the first time I watch it, it sure as hell ain't gonna be a bought in Blu-ray or anything like that. It'll either be through nefarious means, which I really don't do, and or on some streaming platform, and that's probably the most likely scenario.
I
I'm
mean,
I'm I'm curious to see what Chris Gore thinks about it because he says he liked the trailer, and I wasn't a fan of it.
they've kind of given up on it already, this movie. I mean, they're already
Seems
rushing
like
out
it.
the Steelbook Blu-ray, and there's
But
really not much
Well,
push
they're
yeah,
trying
behind
to
it.
hype it as much as they can at this point.
no, well,
Yeah.
And the
because
other thing
like
that's kicking their ass is they've got the guy who plays Kang in it, and they were trying to build the campaign on him, and
oh
it
yeah,
being Michael B.
Jonathan
Jordan's
Majors.
directorial debut and all
Yeah.
that shit. So
I just don't get that guy. I've seen that guy King, and it's just like, what do people see in this actor? It's I don't get it.
I guess he's a decent actor. I haven't seen him in anything, but I feel like he's become the new Jai Courtney or the new
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Taylor's
Taylor
Kitsch.
Quiche or whoever, they want to fucking shove, or Sam Worthington into everything and try and make him a fucking movie star when he really isn't ready or not really doesn't have the chops to be one.
I always feel like he could play like the best friend or something.
Right, or
That's.
a
I mean, like
heavy or a side character. Exactly, yeah.
you watch like the interviews with Paul Rudd and him and stuff. It feels like he's Paul Rudd's sidekick. But then
Just because Sam Worthington was good in Avatar does not mean he's going to be a good leading man in everything.
exactly.
And that
I mean,
wasn't, I wouldn't even say he was that charismatic of a leading man in that.
the only other Sam Worthington movie I actually ever liked was Man on a Ledge. I liked that movie. That was about it, and that was near the end when he was no longer being pushed.
Same thing with Jai Courtney. I was never a fan. The only thing I like he ever did was when he played Boomerang or whatever.
Oh yeah,
oh
Captain.
yeah, he
Boomerang.
was great.
I do kind of wish they wouldn't have killed him off in this.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
Yeah.
it was funny. It was funny.
Oh yeah, he was.
But
great.
one
He was
other
great in
plus,
that.
I mean, I know these are expensive, but I will say the Steelbook, it does look nice.
Actually, Jai Courtney was good in the Terminal List. I forgot he was. In
I
that.
wish that this was the front as opposed to this.
You know,
But
it's
this is
funny.
kind of
Yeah.
cool because it kind of stands out, makes it look 3D-ish, but I don't like the shot so much. It
The
just
back
doesn't,
of my
yeah.
case is the same as that
Well-
almost. This is my Blu-rays, guys, not the 4K. Go ahead.
Nah, that's a good
Oh, yeah.
cover. That's a decent cover.
I mean, we could
There's
look
the
at
cover right there. This is exactly what they should have made it right there.
We could look at the
Look at-
Valentines again.
Rocky has never had a real good established, like even that one would have been better.
Greg,
but,
Greg, it's the beginning of March. Damn it! Don't show us fucking Valentine cards.
It's just-
They're
Rocky
it was
1 and
late.
2 have never had real good established like poster art. 3, 4, beyond that they have, right? Like, but
That's
the first
true.
two, there's never, because the second one had really crappy video art. And
It
I think the
really, yeah.
poster
Isn't
for the
the sec-
second film was just
The second
title.
yeah, I was gonna say the second poster was like it wasn't it like a yellow.
Yeah,
type
like
of-
yellow with the title, and then you could see the outline of Rocky and Adrian. And that's the other one. The only other poster I know for Rocky is one with Adrian and Rocky walking away, and that was with the deleted scene that I was talking about earlier. And I found out in the Interium, somebody sent me something on Twitter, Greg. I got it in reverse. I was wrong. They had to pull the hat off. That's a reshoot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because when they did the reshoot of the ending, she didn't have the hat on, but she did in the other shots. And she had it in the original ending. So when they reshot it, Rocky just said, "Where's your hat?" to cover up not having the hat on. So they went back
okay.
and shot a little piece of her running past a couple of, I'm sure, just Teamsters or whatever that were at the place at the time. They probably even shot it outside in the dark for all I know. You'd have to watch it again to see, but you could barely see that there's anybody else in the scene where she's pushing past and her hat
Right.
flies off. Well, there's a piece of filament attached to that and it pulls it off. Yeah.
Okay, so
So it
but
meant to happen. It was like on purpose.
Yeah,
It wasn't like an
okay.
accident.
But did we ever find if we could ever watch
We just
that?
got pictures. We just got pictures.
Oh, yeah,
It's not there.
Yeah. You said get the pictures.
So I'm
yeah.
wondering if that's what it is. Is in that one documentary and he's just talking about it and shows pictures, because that's where now I don't remember what the dialogue was, because the dialogue he was talking about was the dialogue that's in the movie now, because that's the first thing he says to her is, "Where's your hat?"
Oh yeah.
And I was trying to remember that I thought it was the same thing, but it was different. But no, she actually still has the hat on when they're leaving. They're just walking and talking about just everyday kind of stuff, though, or whatever it was that had nothing to do with the fight. Anyway.
Tom probably has a bigger collection than me, guys.
There's very few people that I've come across that probably have bigger ones than me.
I mean, I have a bigger, but he's got a bigger collection.
He probably does. I'm not going to try and claim that.
No, I can't.
No,
claim
I've got
myself.
well over, I think, 5K at this point, and most of it's. I don't have very many DVDs anymore. Most of those are gone, so. That's what I'm saying. If I still had all my old DVDs, it'd be even more. But
this I could probably claim over Tom.
Oh yes. I only have a handful of VHS just for sentimental. Mostly sentimental reasons.
I guarantee you, Greg has more VHSs than most people.
No, trust me. Some of the people I follow and some follow me, they have like complete video stores of VHS in their houses, and I trust me. What you see in my videos, the one on my whatever side that is, that's just like one shelf of VHSs, and I got some on the box on the floor. That's it.
Maybe it's because it's your background most of the time. I just assume that you have a ton more than other people. I don't know. I have moved on to Blu-rays and 4Ks. I do buy VHSs. I love the VHS. I love that feeling. For whatever reason, it's come back to me, but I can't afford half of the VHSs that people are trying to sell and the prices. And I watched that Red Letter Media thing about VHS grading. I don't get that. I just I think most people with common sense don't get that.
I mean, it has caused prices of VHSs, which you could used to find for like 25 cents at a thrift store. It has caused their prices to go up immensely for movies. Like it's like
I just don't see the reason why.
Yeah,
I can understand if it's something that's out of print, you can't find it. Fine, that I can understand.
Yeah,
but buying unopened copy of Ghostbusters for $50,000 makes no fucking sense to me.
I know. I was watching that.
There's nothing you're gonna get out of that you wouldn't get on anything else, just other than the cover.
Exactly.
So what fucking good is that? And it's not like it's going to be worth anything in the future. I mean, that movie has been released so many times on different formats that's not even the first VHS. Like that movie's been released on VHS enough talking. That's the other thing too is like, ugh.
I was watching the Red Letter Media thing. They did a thing about VHS grading, and they talked about how an unopened copy of Back to the Future went for $75,000, and they said, not that they're trying to say things, but when you want something to go up in price like that, you don't choose something that's actually rare. You choose something like Back to the Future, which has been released a million times on a million different VHSs, Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks, and you say, look, it makes for a better headline. Back to the Future sold for $75,000. So then people start basically, like Tyrell says, VHS gouging. It's true. And
it's kind of the same thing as the LP thing lately too, like with record albums, like vinyl making a comeback. I've seen the price of vinyls jump up astronomically too, especially for some shit to be like, why?
Yeah.
You can get it on digital and disc and other forms. It's not worth anything more. Very few analog releases would I say that haven't had a better remaster at this point. And I know some people like to listen to vinyl, just like you like to watch tape sometimes.
Yeah,
Greg, but you're not also trying to out there convince anybody that it looks better or anything like that.
No.
Right.
You
got people out there that are trying to sell the idea that record albums are better than CDs in some way. It's like, unless there was a remastering problem, no. There's nothing you can, not even on a scientific level. You can say you like the sound better, but it doesn't matter. It's still technically better on a CD, especially if it's coming from a closer to the master. It's just like with the 4K thing, right?
Right.
It's like there's no comparison. I mean, it's the way I feel when I see. Yeah, no shit, right, Brad?
Yeah.
there's no comparison that I can see to watching something on an old DVD or Blu-ray compared to when I see a really well done from the negative master. It's like there's no going back, right? Like if you've got something that looks that good, I can't go back to that old shitty looking thing. I just
get you.
can't.
With me and my VHS it's like it's basically just pure nostalgia because I'm into the nostalgia stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you say, hey, my copy of Dream Warriors looks way better than my Blu-ray. No, it doesn't. It does not at all. The Blu-ray looks a lot better, but there's times when I'm like, especially around like Halloween, I was like, I watched Dream Warriors. I was like, it was like nostalgia thing, and I like to buy the VHSs that that I can actually afford, that they haven't gouged the prices on, and I don't mind watching them every once in a while. But I still prefer the Blu-ray or the
sure,
4K.
I can see an argument maybe for some movies that are in open matte, maybe, but even then, you're still at such a low degradation in quality. Is it really fucking worth it? Like, because I for instance, I just got the Howling 2 imported. They have the movie on there, and then you could watch the open matte version. Well, the open matte version is obviously from a really high quality VHS, but it's still VHS or so, roughly
Right.
quality. It's like, I'm not going to sit there and watch the whole movie like that just so I can watch it in open matte. Fuck that. I don't care if I'm missing a little bit at the top and the bottom.
It's true.
It wasn't meant to be seen anyway.
I mean, I don't know if you were here when I showed this before, but this is what, when I get to urge to want to watch a VHS, I watch it on my little TV here. So
that's the other thing too. I mean, maybe if I had,
you got to have a tube
TV
too.
Yeah,
so.
I was like, yeah, because they looks like such garbage on.
It does not look good on an HD TV. No. You got to have the nice little tube TV, and actually, the picture looks clearer on the tube TV than if you try to put it on HD.
Well, it's because it's made for that format.
Yeah, it's made for that. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I actually bought a new VHS, a new movie that's being put on VHS. I just bought it. I'll have it here sometime in March. But the good thing with that is they also released it in a 4. It's they also released it in 4K. So there's still a market for it, but I do think people have gone a little overboard with much like you said with the hipsters and the records and stuff. People have gone overboard with the tapes, and it's caused like people that really collect them and like myself, it causes us not to be able to get the tapes we want anymore. And I'm not trying to build a huge collection. I find things that just interest me.
And I can even understand records a little bit more to a point because, yeah, you got a situation where records have been around and the main source of music for almost a fucking century, right? Like compared to VHS, which barely had 30 years.
It's true.
Right? Maybe 20 solid years, but yeah. Take care, Brian. Yeah, we're pretty much done here.
Brian.
Yeah. And we went from Rocky to VHS. But yes.
Well, it's funny because I bought that VHS for my dad for Christmas one year. But yeah, anyway, sorry. I just had to tie it back somehow.
There you go, bringing it back around. But yeah, yes, in some ways, it is. They are making a comeback, but it's a very niche collector's market for newer films because there are new films being released on VHS, but the real collectors of VHS are being put in a really tough spot because these grading companies have started to make movies like Back to the Future, like Ghostbusters, worth insane amount of money that everybody now thinks that they have a tape that you used to be able to buy for 25 cents. No, that's rare.
I got the McDonald's version of Back to the Future. How much is that worth?
I don't know. You can send it to a grading company. They'll grade it, but they prefer them to not be opened.
It's not, and it still has the McDonald's sticker on it, I believe.
Well, you could send it out. Watch the Red Letter Media video grading tape, Nuki. Yeah. They put the links in their video.
I saw it,
that you put the links in the video. You send it out, and maybe you get that grading, make you a quick 2K or something.
I just wonder if it's not open. More, if it's got the McDonald's thing on it, because those are probably in. I don't know if those were in less or more produced.
I don't know. I mean, you could try and see what they grade it at and what you could sell it for.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if you could sell a VHS tape for like $2,000, do it.
I'm tempted, but I would feel so fucking guilty. That's what would make me a horrible criminal.
That's why I feel bad about some of those people that are doing that. Yeah. But anyways, Rocky 4K. I'm glad to hear that it is in a really great condition. I'm looking forward to picking up a 4K here eventually myself. And regardless of all the shit we gave you, Runner, you had some good picks tonight, even though I may not have liked every one of them. So,
Well, I
and
think
you too, Tom. You had good picks.
well, you liked 3 of them, I'd say. 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Yo,
But
Because the
Adrian,
Tron
we
and
did
Technique.
it.
No, but I want to get the Rocky 4Ks and stuff. I'm just gonna wait
I get you.
because like
You're waiting for 4, 5, and 6.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like if that does come out, because I'm not sure if they're gonna like do another. If Warner Brothers is gonna like do this whole double dip thing, like Paramount, where they'll make like a 6 movie collector's set or something, or what? I don't know.
No, I think it'll be similar in the sense that we know we're getting at least another cut of one of the films, whether it's 5 or 6. So, I mean, whatever version they come out will have Rocky 4, 5, and 6, and whatever alternate cut. So it'll be like a similar set. I'm just hoping they actually finally add some special features to the other films, because they've never really done anything other than Rocky Balboa. So,
and is Rocky Balboa gonna be released by Warner Brothers or Sony? Because
that's another good question. I think MGM now has the rights to it, or they have the distribution rights, but I'm not 100% on that.
okay, because it was MGM and Columbia Pictures.
Yeah, I know.
Released
that was
Rocky
during the
Balboa.
short period where, like, yeah, MGM and Sony were in cahoots, and then they split up. That's where Sony's attached to like the remake of RoboCop, for instance.
Yeah, same with Magnificent Seven, and Sony released the 4K
and those Pink
and
Panther
Blu-ray for
remakes. Yeah.
Pink Panther remakes.
Yeah. But the 4K release of the Magnificent Seven remake is a Sony release.
Yep. Same thing.
So I'm wondering if Rocky Balboa is going to have that type of situation.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
But in conclusion,
because as far as I can tell from this box that I have here, I mean, this is an MGM release, although it does say Columbia Pictures on there. MGM's name's first. And on the disc it says all 3. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. So yeah, they released that, but I don't know.
We shall see when it gets close, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Oh, mine has a booklet.
Oh, you found a new booklet.
It's in the my set. But, yeah.
Is it from the 4K or the?
No, this is just in the my older set. But
yeah. I do like the story of when he was telling her that she's not going to be in Rocky Balboa, he's going to have to kill her, and she really wanted to be in it. She's like, maybe you could do a scene where you're carrying me down the street as I'm dying, and he's like, nah, we can't do that. I remember him telling that story, and I was like, yeah, that wouldn't have worked. But I do like Rocky Balboa. I don't know, I really thought that was a good one. It definitely made up for part 5.
It's a decent movie. I like it. I got to rewatch it though because it's been a while.
It's decent. I think it's good. Yeah. But with all that being said, is there anything you guys want to promote? Anything you want to say before we close it all down? We actually did a pretty short show, nice and tight, like a toiga in this one.
Eye of the tiger.
There you go. I don't know what you were singing, but
I was singing "Eye of the Tiger."
You were doing like some new wave version of it or something.
That's your problem.
I got to pick on you, Runner. But Tom Runner,
I really don't understand what goes on in Greg's head.
I'm a complicated man. Runner, I know you don't do anything on your channel, so you have absolutely nothing to promote. So.
No, I don't. The only thing I have to promote is that I'll be on this show, and that's it.
There you go. We're glad to have you.
I'm too busy. Plus, I'm trying to. Plus, I technically got hired for a new job, and I'm trying to figure all that out.
Well, I know we may be losing you soon, so in a few months or so.
Not anytime soon.
Oh, okay, so
You're still
not
gonna have
yet.
me for quite a bit.
All right.
But let's not make the chat sad that I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. They're waiting for R&B to take your spot anyway, so.
Yeah. No, I'll. Well, here's the thing. Since R&B is not gonna make it to like every like show, like I think Steven deleted scenes would be a pretty.
Oh yeah, definitely. Steven's in the waiting wings, taking your spot.
He'll tag me out once I'm not a part of the show anymore.
Tim Hayes, I'm working on finding some time to do a member stream for you guys. I've been really busy lately and I haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of stuff I really want to do on the channel, but I will find time here soon to do a member stream. I'm trying to finish up my documentary I'm making on the video store. I'm waiting for an interview and I'm trying to get stuff together for that. And then today I got contacted by entertainment guy, and he wants me to do an interview with this director, and so I'll be doing that soon. So, but yeah,
director, or can you not tell us?
He's not like famous, but he's worked with a lot of people. So,
oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'll be filming that soon for you guys. Met him through Jim Wynorski's people, being friends with him and stuff. So that's nice. Cool. Wow. Yeah. But with all that being said, thank you guys for being here. The chat, everybody watching at home, Runner, Tom. You know what I say. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And I totally passed it. There you go.
How you doing? Bitches leave.